So let's start. So first card is a druid card, Jungle Munkin. Both players have spell damage +2. That's a crappy card for constructed, simply because a lot of decks have really good spells, either for AoE clear or direct damage to your face. So I looked into all classes. So Druid is like the most counter to it because you have Swipe, Living Roots, Raz. It's in like you can be just wrecked by those. Hunter has Quick Shot and Kill Command, which is already like Quick Shot in for 5. It's crazy. Mage, it just Tech has a lot of spells, and against Freeze Mage you just lose because of that. And Paladin Priest also has board clears, like Nova for 4, Consecration for 4, which is also not that you want to see. Like, your minion will die, this one 4/4, and it hits your face and might kill another minion, which is also bad. And Warlock has Dark Bomb and Hellfire. Hellfire in for 5? Why not? Of course, best value. So this card is pretty bad. Maybe in Arena you can use it where you don't have a lot of spells. Maybe. So next card is Mounted Raptor, which is 3/2 with Dazzle Rattle, summon random 1 cost minion. So it's a smallest brother for Shredder and Sky Golem. I looked over all 1-drops, and in around 25% you get good 1-drop, which is like 0/4 taunt, 3/1, 3/2, 1/3, 2/3, 2/4. Like, yes, you get 2/4 Qualdir. So 25% in 1/4 you get really good 1-drop. In 50% you get 52% you get 1 HP creature, which is 2/1 or 1/1. And in 47% you get 2 or higher, so of course. If you get 2 HP a creature, it means that you have Savage Roar target, which is already good. So it can be pinged or something like that. And someone just tells that it's just next Harvest Golem or similar to Harvest Golem, but it's actually not, because like in the worst cases you get 2/1 or 1/1, which is like the same Harvest Golem, but first body is 3/2, which is way better than 2/3 for Death Rattle minion that spawns another minion, because you want to trade it into some stuff and get other minion, because this game is all about trading Kappa with space, and which makes it way better. And in some cases you get 1/2, which is like 10 cards out of 46, I guess, 1-drops. And in 24% you get really good one. So one of the 4 cards that you drop with this Mounted Raptor are very good, like Dust Devil, Zombie Chow, Jurt Qualdir, Flaming Voidwalker, whatever. So it might just be good enough to run in Druid. Maybe not in mid-range one, but in aggro 100%. In mid-range it's close to Shade, but I'm not sure what is better. Maybe in aggressive meta it's just better to run this Raptor. So you have a lot of sticky minions, and you can just try to overtrade your opponent. And the next one is Raven Idol. You choose spell or minion, 1 out of 3, because of Discover mechanic. By the way, Discover mechanic is really cool. It just promotes RNG, but it's not really RNG because you choose 1 out of 3 RNG uh, chosen stack, chosen deck cards. So it's good. And you choose minion or spells. So you can choose only druid spells. It was clarified, and you mostly will choose spells because minions just generally suck. Like it's random minion. It's like unstable portal, but without discount. So it's not actually good, right? But discover spell, like druid spells, are actually really good. And you have swipe, ras, living roots, starfall. Even sometimes poison seeds are good. And so maybe in some tokenish deck you can play it with Valid Teacher or Ramp Druid. When you don't have anything to play on turn 1, or in Token Druid you synergize it to get more tokens, and you have more reach. So probably in Ram Druid it synergizes more because you can get some buff cards or heals, and you don't have any cards to play on turn 1, so it's okay. Soul of the Forest. Soul of the Forest is actually good in Token Druid because you like if you spawn a bunch of tokens and they might stick on the board, maybe a few of them, and you play for Soul of the Forest on them and you just maybe win. You discover a card, so it's like a card draw for 1 mana which you control. Like card draw worth 1 mana. And you control one of the 3. Yes, it's random, but spells, like you might get one good spell for sure, one out of 3. I didn't count probabilities of good spells, which I should have done, but it's probably good enough to run it. I'll definitely test it, maybe even in midrange druid if I will be too crazy, but probably not. Maybe just in talking druid. So next is Hunter's Cards, Explorer's Hat. I saw some video about like that it can be used like a hero power, and then I laughed because it's not actually a hero power, and because you have to spend a 1 card slot for it, which is already not worth it. 1/1 stats is like not that good for hero power. I would say Mage Hero Power is better for Hunter, because like if you add one stats to minion, you still have to trade it into some other minion, and in most cases your minion die because it doesn't have a lot of HP. But I mean it's right now, so also it can be silenced, and you have to draw it in the right moment to play it. Yeah, it's just horrible. But maybe later on, like Control Hunter, and you will have some new cards, which improves it. But right now, Control Hunter is just not possible to build. There is no like spells that gives you on options to play Control Hunter. Maybe just only Deadly Shot. Hunter's Mark is not kind of... It's a tempo card, it's not control card. Feign it's mid-rangey card, it's not control one. I would say it's too slow to run it into Hunter right now. I don't see a way to build it. So the next one is Desert Camel, which is very interesting card because in some meta where control decks are good, you actually might play this card. And I actually saw some decks, reviewed some decks, and Dragon Priest has Cleric and Zombie Chow, which is done like really good for them if you play it. Paladin has Secret Keeper, which is nah, it's fine. Mage has Mana Worm, and Warlock has Flame Imp and Taunt. It's only Zoo, of course. and mage is only tempo mage. So in other decks, you just don't have 1-drops. Maybe in aggro druid, but you know, aggro druid will be dead soon, hopefully. And in your deck, you can play Web Spinner plus Injured Queldir. Which is like sick. You just mulligan it away. You just try to hard mulligan for Desert Camel, and you might get Injured Queldir, which is double 2/4. It's really strong, and next turn you can play Houndmaster on it. Whoa, PogChamp. Maybe Argent Squire. But right now it's like I'm not too sure about this card. And because you give a card draw to your opponent and it plays, it's like secret Mad Scientist for your opponent. He gets a minion and draws the card, removes 1-drop from their hand, which is bad. You want them to draw 1-drops in like by turn 3, so they can't play it really because it sucks. But if you play it on the board, they just draw it, and it's not good. If meta will be without 1-drops, this is kind of cool. Or there will be some crazy 1-drops for Hunter. So the next card is Dart Trap. Yeah. More horrible secrets. Yeah. Yes, it's good against Druid, maybe. Actually, no, because Druid will not play hero power till turn like 7. Paladin, Divine Shields, 1/1s. Like you just spawn 1/1, it kills 1/1. Wow, such a great trap. Also, there's Rattles, Haunted Creeper, Nerubian Egg against Zoo. Against Hunter, Nerubian Egg is Haunted Creeper still. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced. Insane in Face Hunter to go face. If you're sure it will go face, of course it's a good card. But it's better to run Ragnaros if you think it will go face for sure. Maybe not. But it will not go face in most of the cases. It's like 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 4 it go face, because usually when your opponent hero powers, they're already ahead on the board, and they have some minions in play. So it's pretty horrible right now. The next one is Mage, Animated Armor. So the great thing about this mechanic is like it protects you from direct damage, which is like Ball from Shield. But this minion doesn't take damage. But problem with it, this card should be protected by a taunt, so no one can trade into it. And you have to be low HP, so it will have some value. So yeah. When it will have value, like 1 out of 10 games in Echo Mage, maybe, which is not worth it right now. But mechanic is pretty cool. So the next one is Ethereal Conjurer. Oh, this one I like, but not because of this is very good, because of this is very fun. I explain you why. 6-3 stats are really bad, but who cares when you get to choose a spell from Mage. And I counted it up. So you have 4 spells that goes face, which is Frostbolt, Fireball, Dragon Breath, and Pyro, and also new Flame Torch, so it's 5. But it also gives you an extra card that you don't draw from your deck. Also, you have 8 secrets and 12 spells for board control. So considering 13 or 14, like considering new spells, torch, and I didn't count some weird spells. So you have around 13, 14 spells to control the board, some secrets, arcane intellect, ice lens, and unstable portal. So in most of the cases, you might get some board control spell, which is extra board control spell, and you might play it in fatigue mage, which is fits the most. Like people compare it to Azudrake, which is not right because it's a different card. Azudrake draws from your deck, so you how to call it thin your deck. So your deck gets smaller, and you might draw into some cards you need, like Fireball in Tempo Mage. But in Fatigue Mage, you want to have extra reach, so you don't go to Fatigue, and you might run some card draw, even in Fatigue Mage. So you basically add card to your deck, and if you draw with your card draw, so you stay on the same level of fatigue level. That's what I mean. I think it's pretty cool if fatigue match will be a thing with next card as well. This will be really cool because I love fatigue decks. And next card is my favorite of the set, which is Forgotten Torch. I just love this card. Freeze mage, fatigue mage, any other mage, control mage. This is just perfect. You run a lot of card draw with this card, with this Forgotten Torch, and you pay 6 mana for 3 damage and 6 damage for one card. It's really sick. And as a freeze mage, you want to control board early, so you use Forgotten Torch, and then later in the game you get Fireball. Extra Fireball. Damn. I might consider not running Archmage anymore. Because you'll have enough damage to kill your opponent. You don't need extra damage. Maybe against some decks you'll still need it. But you might not just play Archmage and you play just this card and instead of something like Pyro. So you remove Pyro, you remove Archmage for these torches. Here it is. If you really like Archmage, just remove Healbot. But I don't think. Archmage has only been conditioned against Control Warrior. You don't have win conditions against Control Warrior, you just lose this matchup. Because they just need one card to beat you, it's Justicar. If they have it, you lose. No matter what happens. So yeah, this card is great, and I will show you deck after my review that I want to really to build and see how it goes. I have idea now, but I don't have really a full 30 card deck. So I'll test it after it will come out. So it's cool. The next class for card review is Paladin, and anything can happen. A counter to Murloc deck. Whoa! But you should win or lose. But you should know you win or lose by turn 6, maybe turn 7, when you quality consecrate, or you don't. So you like play Belcher, or turn 8 you play Tyrion, and you already know you win or lose. And yeah. And if you play Murloc Paladin, you already lose by default, Kappa. So next card is Keeper of Uldaman, which is very interesting card. It's like Houndmaster without taunt for your dudes. Or you might use it on Giant or Dr. Boom to trade your stuff in. But it would happen very rarely, I think. So most likely we'll use it for buffing your dude, which is like on turn 6 you might play dude, and this one which is 7/7 for 6 mana, which is pretty not bad. But 2/2 damage is with charge, so it's even better. Oh, it's 3/4, never mind, it's 6/7, so it's Boulder Fist Ogre on turn 6. But with 2 damage charge, woo! 3 damage. No, 2 damage. If you have minion on the board, never mind what I just said, it was stupid. So you have buff for 2/2 for you, dude. And it's not for Secret Paladin, because Secret Paladin runs Blessing of Kings, which is actually, if you compare it to Blessing of Kings, no, Blessing of Kings is just more flexible, because this one you can use only on 1/1s. I would definitely try it in Midrange Paladin, just as one-off, because you might not run. Also, yes, since you want to run it as a one-off, it might be useful for Renan Jackson deck. Whoa! Yes. So this is an idea I see. And the next one, Sacred Trial. Yeah. This card is just bad. Like, all classes have 4 minions. Will play force minion. Paladin? Hunter? No, Hunter will not have it. Like, from what I see, it's only Paladin. And so to play card just because of Paladin, and you might hit something stupid like Shredder. So just bad. It's just Gormok style card which doesn't have, which is only effect. I just don't see it in any deck. It's worse than Repentance, to be honest, which is already considered very bad secret. So yeah, next class, Priest. Yes, Excavated Evil. So 3 damage AoE, shuffles card to your opponent's deck. This card, this AoE. So this card encourages opponent to have 3 damage AoE in their hand. So if your opponent have AoE card, so you run in your deck like big dude minions or OTK Priest. So your board doesn't matter, and you have a board clear, and you I mean, you give a useless card against OTK Priest. Oh, sorry, I didn't scroll it down. Damn, my mistake. So yeah. Sorry, guys. Oops. So yes, OTK Priest is happening, and you just remove Holy Nova, which is not that good as a removal because it doesn't kill anything except very small minions, and this might kill Shredder and dudes that go but Quartermaster, Patrons, anything. It's much better than 2 damage. So I'll definitely try it out. I'm not sure how good it is. Seems very good only in OTK Priest. And I might cut even Alchemist Circle for it. So I don't have conditional board clears. I'll have more board like single target removals. Maybe add some Valiant Chosens for my Death Lords. And if your opponent draws Excavated Evil, he might give it to you, but he doesn't want to give it to you because you are board clear deck. Maybe later in the next expansions we will see also Fatigue Priest, which doesn't get too much drawback giving one extra card to your opponent. Yes, so the next one is Entomb. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, but it's a really good card. It's a recycle with an extra effect, which is very significant because you don't shuffle the card from the board to their hand. You just get it to your hand. This card is really good. It's better than Mind Control because it's more flexible. Simply because Mind Control is only better against Zera, to be honest. Or like 8 drop. But this one is better against maybe mid-range stuff like Druid of the Claw, Sylvanas. So you deal with Sylvanas earlier, which is a very big problem for Priest. And really big advantage, you can play other stuff on this turn. Like heal your minion, play some Cultist, I don't know, Holy Champion, Aokinai, whatever, Twilight Guardian. I'm not sure if it's good for Dragon Priest, but for Control Priest, it's definitely really good. So you remove Sylvanas and give it to your deck, so you'll have 2 Sylvanas. You get Tyrion, then you'll have Tyrion in your deck, and you remove from Paladin, which is like only like really good card against Priest. I mean, not only good. I mean, only card that Priest can deal with really well. Only Mind Control, but they usually drop it on 8, so you need, like, you wait 1 or 2 turns for it, and that's not what you usually want to do against Tyrion. So against some Druid cards, Ancient of Lore, so then you can draw something. Druid of the Claw, as I said. Also is Zera from other decks, Control Warrior. So it's just a great card. I'm not sure if it will be 1-off or 2-off, but 1-off for sure. Shadow does remove Tyrion easy. Yeah, they have 5/3 weapon which clears your board over 3 turns. I mean, kills your minions. And it's not what you want to see. So this card is great. The next one is Museum Curator. I think I pronounced it right. Okay. So I looked over all these rattles, and you have we have 29 these rattle cards. So there is 40%, around 40%, that you will get really good minion. So you have 3 chances for it because it's a discover, and if you have 3 chances for it, it's like 93% chance that you will get it. If you have 40% to get good one. Am I correct with my countings? So hopefully I'm correct. So if it's 93%, it's great. I see some comments about high main, but you can't get high main. You get only priest cards and neutral cards. Discover works this way, so you get only class cards that you run, and the class you run, and neutral cards. So on curve you get like 10%. So it's just 3 good 3 drops, which is Cultist. What else? Deathlord and Harvest Golem, I think. Maybe there is one more. I forgot, to be honest. And there is really good 8 2-drops. What did you say? Never mind. There is 8 good late drops, which is 2 of them are 4 drops, which is Shredder and Mechanical Yeti. So this card is pretty good. I wouldn't cut it out. Maybe just like stat wise is 1-2. It doesn't die to hero power, which is already great. And you might be able to use it for Well Chosen because opponent might go face if they have Leprechaun. If they trade it in, it's good for you, right? So you draw a card and they trade it in. It's like it works the same way with scientist, not with scientist, with loot horror. If you trade loot horror into some small stuff, it's already great. But priest cards are all like have very similar competitive against not competitive competition between each other. So it might be a little bit off, but I would definitely try this card, and this is probably a good one of the good one. So having a 93% chance to get a really good card, and maybe getting second Sylvanas Major Domo. It's not actually, I didn't count it as good card. You might get Sneeds, Cairn, Sludge Belch, Shredder, like all these rattle cards. So at least not very bad. So, and you might curve out for if you get Cultist. So we'll see. So next class is Rogue. Rogue has 3 minions, which is Tom Pillager, an Earth Raptor, and Pit Snake. So Tom Pillager. So the way I see it, it's a 5/4 for 3 mana that you should play off curve, and you get a combo activator. 5/3 for 3 mana is good, yes. But if you play off curve, it's not good. So let's see. You play it on 4, like it's a best case scenario. You play it on 4, you get a coin. You can play 4-drop plus some like Eviscerate Sap. It's good with Ballad Teacher. But then you have to cut Shredder from your deck for this card. Not that good, right? Already. And the biggest problem is it dies to 3 main cards, which is Death Blade Swap and True Silver. And if you play it as if you're behind on board and opponent use it, you're in very bad shape. Yes, so it's a good card, but I'm not sure if like Oil Rogue doesn't need it for sure. Might be in Tempo Rogue. In Tempo Rogue it might be good. Yes, but how good is Tempo Rogue? Maybe Creep will tell us. Kappa. So the next card is also for Tempo Rogue. It's an Earth Raptor, and I looked over these riddles that Rogue can run, and the only 2 that you can play on curve, actually 3, it's Hounded Creep and Ruben Egg and Loot Horror or Blood Mage. It doesn't matter. So if you deck run, you can't run really Ruben Egg and Rogue. You just like you don't want to play Cold Blood in your control-ish Tempo Rogue. You just lose a card most likely. Maybe you will, and then Ruben Egg is good. But then you have Loot Hoarder, which cycles. It's cool, and Haunted Creeper, which is also good. It's always good. So if you get the Rattle copy from Haunted Creeper, it's ooh, I win. Then you have Shredder, Sylvana, and Boombot from Dr. Boom. Like it's the best Desert that you can get. You might run also Belcher to get to Slime, which is not that bad. This is pretty good card, not in the Rogue. But maybe we'll see some creative minds to create Tempo Rogue with this Tom Pillager and an Earth Raptor. And that will be great to see this. I'm actually hyped. If someone will create it, I will definitely play it. Maybe I'll try it myself, but to be honest, I have no idea how to build Tempo Rogue right now. And yes, the next one is Pit Snake. Like, you can play it in Rogue, but it buffs and more nerf, and actually nerfs more cards. Then a given random beast some minions to the board. It's nerf to Mage and Stable Portal, and not by a lot, of course, but just a bit. But it buffs Druid Raptor, because you can get Pit Snake from the Raptor, and usually opponent just trade your Raptor, and they don't have mana to clear your 2/1, or they just don't have any way to clear it, and it might be really good. Not by a lot. I wouldn't say it's just buffs, it's just good 1-drop. Better than average one. So yeah, this is a raw card. Let's move to Shaman, but I need to move my list. Okay. I did it. So the Shaman cards. Everything is awesome. +2/+2. Whoa. Which is like Bloodlust, but it also gives you health. And cost 1 less for Murlocs. For each Murloc on your board. In Murloc deck, it's a replacement for Bloodlust. Because it's just much better. If you have 2 Murlocs, it's already better than Bloodlust. It gives less damage, but but if you apply it to 3 Murlocs, you like win. To be honest. But how good is Murloc Shaman? It can be pretty good because there is a lot of new cards for Murloc Shaman that you can play. And the one I will also review later. 2 actually. We'll see. But in other decks, it just win more cards, which is just bad. Maybe it's just bad even in Murloc deck because it's just not strong enough to have board control by turn 5 or like 4. I don't know. So the next card, Shaman card, is Rumbling Elemental. 2/6 stats for 4-drop is really good in control board centric Shaman. Because I have Battle Cries like Tuskar Totemic, Fire Elemental, Fire God Destroyer. Because 2/6 most likely will not die, and you might be able to play another 4-drop, Tuskar Totemic, a Zoo Drake. I don't know. You might play some another Battle Cry minions. It's not a problem, but it might be just not enough for them. And 2 damage is not that strong, but I'll definitely try it. Maybe just like Flame Waker style card. Who knows? Because you need a lot of Battle Cries in your deck. Let me see. I'll actually log into Hearthstone and look over the cards. Battle Cry cards that can be used in Shaman. Oh, give me a drink. Yeah, I got it. Shaman. So class cards. Drenade Totem Carver. Tuskar Totemic. Fire God Destroyer. Wind Speaker! PogChamp. Neptulon and Fire Elemental. From neutral cards, there is not a lot that you can play in Shaman. It's probably Abusive Sergeant. For 3 drops, you don't run any Battle Cries, made like Farseers or some stuff. For 5 drops, there is a lot of them. It's like a Zoo Drake Healbot, low tip. So you can play it on curve with some card. But the problem is, it's worse than Flamewaker, because Flamewaker is used for spells, and spells are very cheap. So, but minions are not very cheap. That is a problem. You might activate it once per turn or twice. Twice is really good, but activating it once per turn, maybe not that great. I'll definitely try it out. Just like if it was 3/5, it would be a good card probably. But right now, like 2/6, I don't know. To be honest, I just don't know. And the last one for Shaman is Tunnel Drug. Yes. The cool mechanic about this card, I actually discovered it like yesterday, that if you overload once, like for example with Lightning Bolt, you get +1 damage. But if you use lightning bolt, second lightning bolt, you gain 2 damage. Whoa, you get 4/3 for 2 lightning bolts, which is pretty cool. And there's a lot of damage cards, so you might play some aggro shaman. Like you have Crackles, Lightning Bolts, Feral Spirit Totem Golem deck with Doomhammer, Fire God Destroyer. I see it like right now. I can see it in Mech Shaman, which lacks 1-drop because you have only this one too. Progmaster, if I'm correct. So you get more 1-drops. Like if you have 4, it's already better. And yeah, maybe it's some aggro shaman with a lot of overload. But since you run bad cards, it might justify actually this 1-drop. Maybe actually Nagro Rock Zombie Chow is still better. But in combination with Zombie Chow, Bloodlust, yeah, Bloodlust aggro shaman. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe it will be not a joke like in 2 months, and it will be funny. But Mech Shaman is more realistic. So next class is Warlock, and their card is Reliquary Seeker. It's just so bad that I can't even spell this name. Like you never get 6 minions and that you don't win the game. It's like win more card one again, and win more cards are just terrible. So yes, I need to close because it annoys me, this sound. Yep, this card is bad. The next one is Curse of Rafam. So from what I see, your deck should be really aggressive for this card to be played, because you might play a lot of cards before it, and like by turn 4 or 5 you play it, so your opponent doesn't want to actually remove this to damage, so it might like deal 4-6 damage. Like 4-6 for 2 mana is already like fine. 6 is already good. So it has to stick 3 turns. So 2 turns your opponent doesn't do anything with this card. Which is in very aggressive Warlock deck, it might be possible. And it also countered to Freeze Mage! Yay! It kills Freeze Mage through Ice Block because it procs on their turn. Yes. So Zoo has a counter to Freeze Mage, which like Kazan suck in Freeze Mage. Yes, but this one is better. And the next one is Dark Peddler. This minion is pretty good. So you have 2/2 body for card draw, and you get 1-drop. Like to get Warlock cards are usually like 1-drops, are pretty good. Like it's Mortal Coil, Power Lamine, Soulfire, Flame Voidwalker. The only better ones are Blood Imp and Corruption. So, and you have 46 1-drops, which is insane, right? So in this 46 1-drops, you have 25% to get good 1-drop. Actually, maybe even less, because some of maybe no, it's fine. Maybe even more, because some Battle Cries for 1-drop also good. So yes, it might be used in not in Zoo, but in some like Malilock, maybe Handlock. So you have board control cards. So you might cut something like Dark Bomb from your deck, or Coil, 1 Coil for this one. Probably Dark Bomb, because you want to play minions, to be honest. And it also synergizes with Argus, because you play this, you play 1-drop, you play Argus. On turn 7 it's 2 minions with Taunt. good. And you don't have to have like giants, Watcher plus something plus Owl. I would say this will be played. I'm not sure in what deck, but the value it gets is pretty good. So next one is warrior cards. Warrior cards are just bad. Rip. So they have Curse Blade. I have a quote for this card. Taking 8 damage from Lepernon is not particularly fun or interactive. And you have to play a card to take this 8 damage. Yes, maybe it will be okay-ish in some face deck. Yeah. Just an extra weapon. But it will be not in near future. Molten Warrior. Oh my god, guys. No. So the next one, Obsidian Destroyer, is just a good arena card. I don't see it being played and constructed, to be honest. And from previous card, Curse Blade, in Molten OTK, guys, you want to have control, you need to draw your combo. So taking early damage doesn't give you time to draw your combo, it just reduces it. And if you play Taunt Molten Warrior, you still need to draw Molten. And if you have this card in hand and you do like and you don't have Molten, you don't want to play it. You want to control your HP. So you can control this other weapons. It's not a problem to get below some level. So I would say it's just bad. You need to have a ton of early cycle to justify this one. So you get your Molten by turn like 5 with Taunt. Like, oh, you need 2 Moltens, not only 1. Because 1 is not enough usually. So this is bad. So the last one is Fierce Monkey, 3/4 Taunt, Beast. Beast doesn't matter for Warrior, so it's just 3/4 Spider Tank with Taunt. Which is a bit of a power creep. It's good for Tempo Warrior, but there is like the only problem. The deck I built before, it was Warrior Ring Tempo Midrange Warrior, Tempo Control Warrior, I would say. So I didn't even use it. I mean, I didn't even use Frothing. But Frothing is just like on the same power level, right? Because again, it just almost the same stats, but just doesn't have Taunt. But Frothing can get more stats. So I just didn't play it because you don't need it in this one. But it should be played only in really Tempo Warrior, like without Shield Slams, Shield Maidens, just like Creature Warrior. But it's not good for this deck because like most of the Warrior cards are just really push the class into control or combo wave. So I don't see this card being good in any deck right now. Maybe some Bolster Warrior, but like to be honest, Bolster Warrior. It's like how it's this card called? Genie of the Fierce Ram Druid with buffs. It sounds crazy, right? So we are done with class cards. And now we start with neutral cards. So the first one, Arsifra Farm. So you get 7/8 for 8/9 mana, which is already probably 2.5 mana to draw 2.5 mana overcosted. So you have -2 and 5 to draw a card, not from your deck, but just like artifact, one of the 3 which you control. I would say like the card draw which you control is like 1 mana. So you have 1 and a 5. And you have to spend 10 mana to use your artifact, which is I'll show you if you didn't see maybe, but you probably saw it anyway. So this is artifacts. Give minion +10/+10 full zombie board and deal 10 damage randomly split. So 10/10 buff costing almost 12 mana. It's just not good. Like, you don't want to play this buff. 10 split damage is even worse because Avenging Rust deals 8 damage in a deck which doesn't have this, which does need this mechanic, but since it's just 6 mana, no one plays it. So it's also really bad. It can be really good only for finisher, but you don't need finisher in Warrior, you have Gromash. And you have plus full board of zombies, which is the only good one. But if you always choose full board of zombies, you don't really want to play it. Because it's like 12 mana, play full board of zombies. What? 21/21 on board. Yes. It's accounted for Druid, right? But the problem is you might die for this turn. By this turn, you don't really need this one. You have like more, how to say it, valuable cards? Value cards, yes. It's like Sneasel, Shredder, Izera, which is already like dealing with Druid. But like the only good effect is zombies, which is not overcosted. And it's only good against Druid. Let me actually see what classes you can use it. So against Shaman, it dies to Lightning Storm. Maybe not all of them, but usually they will die because I'm a Zoo Drake. By turn 10 they will have it. Or like having already taught him out. Oh, I forgot. You can use it only in Control Warrior. So yeah, against Shaman they will have Spell Power Totem on the board most likely, or they will roll 50/50 for it. So Paladin, against Paladin is pretty good because they usually will use the quality on something else. So Paladin, Druid, 2 classes. Hunter is too slow, it doesn't do anything. So which is 1 outside, which is already like, against Handlock is just bad. Actually against Handlock you might choose +10/+10 for your minion, just to have like additional burst damage. So it's a good. So against Priest, is not good. But for fatigue purposes, maybe good because you can like, it gives you more reach with zombies, but they will die just to some random stuff like Spell Power, Holy Nova, Light Bomb, or even Excavated Evil. Who knows? So against Rock it's just bad. Against in Mirror it's just bad. In Mirror you probably use the +10/+10 on your Armor Smith. Actually it's another threat, so you'll have 2 big threats for 1 card, most likely. So probably in Control Warrior Mirror is good. Huh. I'll definitely try it out in Control Warrior, but I'm not sure. It seems so slow. Holy shit. It's like you pay 19 mana to get 7/8 and powerful effect. I think it's very slow. Actually, if Hunter will not be a deck and Secret Paladin will fade out, maybe it's actually will be good. So I would say it's decent. We'll see. We'll see. So the next one is Reno Jackson. Yo. I would say it's only usable I mean, in constructed, of course. In Paladin, because there is already like a lot of one-offs in the deck, and you might just like a lot of cards are just similar to each other in Paladin, and you might play one-offs. Like you'll have only two offs. It's like Minibot, Juggler, Consecration, True Silver. No, actually True Silver no. Consecration, Juggler, Minibot, Master, which is 4 cards. Aldor 5. So you have 5 two offs, and other ones are one offs. So you just need to draw them before and just heal yourself for full HP. It's really good. Like you might play one zombie and one creeper, for example. It's like a replacement for zombie. It's pretty decent. Mysterious Challenger. No, no, no. And also 4/6 stacks for 6 is not that terrible, like to be honest. And if it gets off in Paladin, like Paladin, it's bad in Control Warrior, even in Fatigue Warrior, only because like it's only good if you go to Fatigue. So it's not good if you're like trying to defend yourself. It just doesn't do anything. And Paladin can get it off very early. If you like, if your Shredder dies, oh, I forgot about Shredder, so it's maybe 6 cards. No, it's 5. I don't. Forget about it. So if you play Minibot, you play Master like on Curve, you just need to draw already like Consecration and to use it. So by turn like 10, you might already play it because you might draw your 2 offs already. It's pretty good. And in freeze match is not good, guys. You don't need heal. Maybe in some control grinder. Yes, control fatigue mage. Yes, it's good. In freeze match, I'll explain you why it's bad, because in the late game, like in the very late, you'll use it only in late game when you have like 7 cards left, or like 5 cards left. The opponent already has such a big board, so when you use this card, they will just kill you like by 30 HP. It applies to Druid as well, like most likely. Or just put you very low, like to 1 or something. It's just better to run extra freeze instead of this one. A healbot is just more flexible and you can use it early. And also you need to not have 2 offs in your deck. Like even if you have like 10 cards left, it's already a big chance that you'll have big enough chance that you'll have 2 offs in your deck left. I wouldn't say it's good in freeze mage, but in mid-range paladin or control paladin, I will not like put a claymore on this one. So the next one is Alice Starseeker Monkey. Woo, bananas. I don't have bananas myself. So this card is just too inconsistent and very slow. The only good fact about it, if you run something like Fatigue Mage, which is also a Fatigue Mage card, you might not just use the map. I'll also show you what. So you draw this map, which draws you card and shuffles this monkey into your deck. So you might use Alice like a card that gives you an extra card in Fatigue Mage, and also frees you, gives you spot for card draw, which is like you can play double scientist with Forgotten Torch and Ethereal Conjurer, Alice Starseeker, like maybe even Arcane Intellect. So you just not draw your card with this one, and in the super late game when it's already in fatigue, you just can't play it. Actually, if it's already in fatigue, you don't want to take fatigue damage, but you will not, because your opponent will take already. So it's like a removal mage. It might be decent, but I wouldn't say it's like good for it anyway. You might not just have enough spots for it, because you need removal, you need defensive cards, and this just doesn't do anything except giving you an extra card. So the next one is Bronzebeard. Okay, I did it. Yeah. This is from my deck, from Maligos Warlock. So Maligos Warlock, it's all Battlecry deck. You have what is not Battlecry cards, which is Emperor and Maligos. Other cards is Battlecry. The only problem you can't owl twice or you can't BGH twice because it's already dice. And but Twilight Drake, Ford 18, Healbot, heal for 16, Farseer, heal for 6. Uh, what else? What else? Argus buffs twice, but you might not play Argus. Twilight Guardian becomes 4/6. Even Black Queen Technician is 4/6. So like abusive BGH combo becomes very easy. So on turn 7 you can clear most likely every minion, like 3 attack target, which is crazy. So I would say it's only usable in Maligos Warlock because it has so many battle cries, but I'll definitely try it out. And Maligos has flexible spots for this card, which is very important. So it might fit in perfectly. For other decks, probably not. Just not enough battle cries to justify running 2/4. How do you have 8.5 cards in your hand? Oh, come on. You know what I mean. 4/17. It's okay. Never mind. And so the next card is Sir Finley Myrgleton. This is insane card for Shaman. And a giggle. Shaman, yeah. Actually, if Murloc Shaman will become a thing, this is super sick card because you might get not useless hero power or for Mech Shaman. Like Mech Shaman, like totems, you don't even need these totems for Mech Shaman. You just, if you get like Mage hero power or Hunter hero power, or the best one is Warlock hero power, this is sick. Holy shit. Maybe even for aggro priest, aggro warrior, face priest, face warrior, to get hunter hero power. Even druid is one damage is already cool. I would say this is really good aggro card, but since it's legendary, it won't be that annoying, very annoying to deal with. I would say it's super insane card, but I'm not sure about it, so we'll see. Mechanic is really interesting. And the next one is Genie of the Fears. So it's it gets a buff from if you buff another minion. So the only decks that have good buffs is Priest and Druid. Paladin has some buffs, but they're either too cost too much or they're just bad. So in Priest, you don't want to have cards like this because you want impactful cards on board like Cabal, Belcher, which like do something except just putting big body on the board. And your buffs are not defensive; they're more aggressive, like Well and Chosen, Power Shield, just to trade, and 4/6 already trade into like most of the mid-range stuff. So you don't really want to buff it. And in Druid, like buff Druid is just not good enough, right? To be a deck. And this card is not that OP to push it forward. So it's not good right now. The next one is Nagasi Witch. This card gives you a possibility in Druid to play Nagasi Witch plus Ancient of Lore, War of Boom on turn 8 with Innervate, which is good. And it also, I would say for Druid is not that good because you have Innervate already, and this is not that you want to play at turn 5. On turn 5 you want to play very powerful play like turn like Taunt or Lotep, something like this. I would say it's good for Control Warrior. Oh, another fact. It's all minions cost 3. Oh, cost 5. So your like their Nasus Spirit will cost 5, so it's not good with Innervate. And yeah. uh, so with Innervate on turn 3. So it's good only Control Warrior, and it might be only as a one-off. So you might play it on turn 5, so your opponent has to kill it because it kind of has a taunt. So if they don't kill it, you might play some big creature like anything. Boom, Grommash, Zera. So I would say it's pretty cool mechanic, and maybe we'll see it in Control Warrior. Another decks I just don't see it. The next one is Summoning Stone. Yeah, we saw already this brawl with this team, but it's just 0-6 for 5. Just horrible. The next one is Eerie Statue. You need you hit face when there is nothing on the board from both sides. Initially, I thought it's only from your side, which would make this card OP, but it's from both sides, so this card can't trade into anything, and your opponent will not even trade into it. Yes. It's just horrible. Like, Ancient Watch is much better in this case because it's 2 mana 5 HP, and for 4 mana you want to have like 9 HP or 10, maybe 9, but not 7, which dies to BGH. Even if you taunt it, it's not that great for this one. So the only deck I see playing, it's only Wailing Soul Druid. Maybe it's gonna be a theme. Then next card is Ancient Shade, which is 7/4 with downside of getting 7 damage at some turns, but it also dies to BGH, and it has 4 HP, which dies to 1 drop with abusive, which is ridiculous, or to Shredder. And I would say even without downside effect, I wouldn't play it. It's just horrible. It's just that horrible. And so the next one is Fossiles Devil's Or. Just worse Handbag Protector, which doesn't see any play. Yeah. Maybe if you get it from Web Spinner, you might be happy in some mid-range hunter. But that's it. And actually you won't be happy because it dies to BGH as well. But in some cases it might see some play from Web Spinner. So the next one is Wobbling Runs, which is 2/6 with Desrettle 2/2. It's 3 2/2s. This card is bad. Damn. Like, first of all, it's not a beast, which is already horrible. Like, second of all, it's 2/6. Like, Desrettle cards like encourages state, like all the Desrettle cards should have less HP than attack or equal, so you can trade into stuff, get you this Desrettle 1. But this card you need to trade twice into some minion and then get this Desrettle maybe, but your opponent will have already board clear prepared for this one. Yeah, it's just horrible. Also, Cabal, best Cabal value ever seen. Just horrible card. So yes. About the previous card, Ancient Shade, 7/4, even Fog Druid is just horrible. Like it's 4 HP. It dies to every removal, like True Seal. Maybe for Druid is good. That dies to weapon, but it also dies to Shredder. It dies to a lot of removal spells, plus some crappy minions. And on 4, you want to play a minion that actually does something. This might does only 7 damage to face. In the best case. Yeah. People will probably try it out, but it's not good. So, next card is Anubis Sentinel. I'll scroll my... Okay. We're getting to the last one. So, Anubis Sentinel. This card is... like dark cultish card. So it's already automatically very hard to hit buff on another minion with it, and 4/4 stats are not good. Like +3 attack that doesn't, which dark cultist doesn't give. It's not that crazy because like if it would be 2 attack, it would be almost the same. You don't really get much from this one, and also you can buff target that will die to BGH afterwards. So I don't see this card being played in any deck. It's just too slow, and there is no, like, not even 80% that you will hit it buff. I would say even less than 50. So the next card is Gorilla Bot A3. Yeah, it's conditional card draw in the Mag deck, which is very consistent. Kappa. And yeah, so it's only usable in Mag control deck, in which we have how many mags possible? Probably none. Like it's only very big minions like Sneasel, Shredder, or 4 Reaper, and 5/5 probably. But most of the mech cards encourages you to play tempo deck, and this card is not a tempo card. It's just card draw card, which gives you reach in your deck. So I would say it's only for very controlish mech deck, but there is no such deck in Hearthstone right now. The next one is Stomp Spider. It's a beast restrict that gives you discovered beast. So beasts in general are not very good, which we see from Web Spinner. If it like all beasts will be very good, Web Spinner will be OP, but they are not. So this card is pretty bad. But I think it's good that they add more beasts, so you have more options for how it's called. Beast Druid, yes. So you have more options for Beast Druid. This card is probably not good for Beast Druid, but you will have more cards to get a Knight of the Wild better. Also about Anubis' Sentinel. Like in other decks like Zoo, you might buff like 100 creep egg, yes, but it only gives, it just like counters by silence. And like what forger do you cut in? I would put maybe try it as a one-off in Zoo, but in other cards it's just horrible. I mean, in other decks it's just horrible because you don't like any decks except Zoo and maybe Hunter has a lot of buffs. Like they just don't. So silence will just wreck this card anyway. In Zoo it's probably maybe good, but not sure. You need to have a board controls and trade this guy in, and then you have a buff. Maybe. but I'll try this as one-off and see how good it is. Maybe just not better than any other card that it was already in the deck. Maybe like for Sea Giant-ish cards, like Direwolf Alpha, maybe? Yeah, something like that. So even Void Terror. So, the next card after Tom Spider is Joel's Scarab. So, condition for this card to be good. Your deck should not have good 2-drop. And your deck should have a good 3-drop. And the only deck I see is Control Priest. Because you don't have any good 2-drops except Wild Power. And it's not really a 2-drop. And it has pretty good 3-drops. Like Cultist, Balance Chosen. Actually, I'll look at it. Actually, I'll look at more priest cards. Shadow Form is not good. Anyway, there is some of them are really good. And 3-drops, other 3-drops are just fine for priest to have on the and it gives you reach. So it's like a card draw, and you have 1/2 instead of 1/1 on the board. I mean, you have 1/1 on the board. It's like Novice Engineer that doesn't draw cards from your deck. But the only other problem is you reduce your chance. Oh wait, no, you draw it in your card. Oh my god, you draw cards. It's like the only problem. It's reduced the chance to get a priest card because there is a lot of 3-drops in the game, and maybe it's not that impactful. VLPS host. Oh my god, I don't see it actually. What the fuck? If so, thank you, man. Yes. So the next. So I would see it played only in Hunter, Paladin, or Priest. So in Paladin you will not play it because there is already good 3-drops in the deck, or 2-drops in the deck. In Hunter, maybe it's a one-off, just to get your bow, or sometimes Animal Companion Unleash Kill Command. And some 3-drops are just fine. Maybe. And in Priest is more, it's just a bit better. But to be honest, I don't see it being played right now in any deck. Maybe in I'm telling it like all the cards in potential. So yes. The next one is Huge Toad. 3/2 with Death Rattle. It's a better Bloodfin Raptor. Power Creep again. And it's worse than Flame Juggler in any other deck except Hunter. Because you don't get anything from Beasts. Maybe in some sort of Beast Druid. But I'm not sure if Beast Druid will be still a thing. People will definitely try it out. Because like with this expansion we got a lot of Beasts. And maybe it will be good. So in Hunter you might play it if you really don't want to run Juggler, but Juggler is so good with Creeper and Unleash, so you might have to play it. And maybe in a deck without Scientist you would play it, but Scientist is just so OP, so you have to play it. And then it's like you have a 2-drop which just doesn't fit in the Hunter, and it can be played only in Hunter. And yeah, it's a slight buff to Shredder, maybe that's why. And it's really good in Arena because it's common card and you might get it pretty often. So the last one is Murloc Tiny Fin. Another power creep, because no one runs Hungry Crab in their deck. And this is really good card for Murloc deck, simply because it's a free card that you just like you play it turn 3 with Cold Light Seer, even with Murloc War Leader, and it doesn't die to AoE. If like swipes or just consecration, it dies, but then the other guy doesn't. So if it's like 1 damage juggle, doesn't die. Rust for 1 doesn't kill it. It's already like 3/2 for 0 mana. So if Murloc Shaman will be, or Murloc Warlock will be a good deck, this card is must have in it. Also for Hobgoblin Kappa. Oh wait, what about Hobgoblin Priest with Museum Curator that you have a Death Rattle minion on? But there is not a lot of 1 HP Death Rattle minions, right? Nah, it's just a joke. So now I have top 5 of my card, my top 5 of favorite cards, and then I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 cards that have really good potential. So my number 5 is Mounted Raptor from Druid, which is 3/2 with Desert. Will give puts 1 drop into the field. I think it's number 5. Like it competes with Sir Finley Murgleton for my top 5, and probably with Brown Bronzebeard, like these 3 cards. Nah, Brown Bronzebeard is a little bit less. My number 4 is Dark Peddler, which is Warlock card 2/2, and you draw a 1 drop. You like a lot of people underestimate it, but I think it's really good. This one. So the next one is Tunnel Trog, which is Shaman card. It buffs a Shaman. I'm not sure for how much, but this card is super good. My number 3 is Entomb, which is Priest card. I love this card. Damn. Even though I might play it as a one-off, it's still super crazy. It has super crazy value. And my number 1 is Forgotten Torch, because I love any fatigue deck mages. I love Freeze Mage, and I'll create a deck after a review, which also uses this card, which as a really significant improvement. So other cards I see being pretty good. Maybe not right now, but later on, which is Desert Camo. This one, maybe in some unaggressive meta. Bronzebeard. If Malygos Warlock will be really good with it. Right now I can't see it being very strong. So the next one is Sir Finley Murgleton, which is like getting a new hero power is very interesting for aggressive decks. In some classes that your hero power is useless, which is Priest, Shaman, and Warrior, and this card might be really strong. Also, the next one is Tom Pillager. It's really strong if Temporok will be strong, but if Temporok will be not strong, yes. So after this one is a Nurse Raptor, which is also the same theme. If Temporok with Death Rattles might be a good, this card will be really good in it. And then it's Naga Sea Witch, which is good for Control Warrior. And if it's gonna be played, it's gonna be good, but not like amazing. It's just good. and especially you might protect it with some taunts before, if they will release some early game taunts that are good, like on turn 4, and then you play Nagasivich and the opponent can kill it, and you can play Iser on the board, Dr. Boom on the board, Ragnaros. That's good. And then I have in my list Museum Curator, which is priest card that gives you this rattle minion. I think this card has a great potential to being played, and I'll definitely try it out. Yeah, if you want to see a description, not description, review of this card, just check it out my stream, or you can see YouTube video that I will upload on my channel. So the next one is Raven Idol for Druid. This card is very interesting because like spells in general are good for Druid. Like the spells you get from the 3 options are good. At least one will be good. And also you can choose a minion if you really need board, which is also like a small but good bonus. And in some token Druid deck, it's actually might be good. So if token deck will be good, this might be good. But it requires a lot of testing. Like, you can get value for cards like this by mana or something like Life Coach does. It's just like too complicated to see how it goes. It's not like vanilla stats or something. It's just too hard to see. So then I rated Jeweled Scarab. This one. Maybe I actually overrated it by a bit, but it might be really good if you hit consistently your class cards for Priest or Hunter. And it's also a beast for Hunter, so maybe in some control Hunter you will see it being played. And other two ones is Fierce Monkey, which is really good for like Temple Warrior. So you'll have already 2 3-drops which you can play in Temple Warrior. You have Frothing Berserker and Fierce Monkey. You just need more to have more support cards for Temple Warrior, and it actually might be really good in it, since it has good stats and it's taunt. And the last one is Reno Jackson. Who would know? And I think this card is actually pretty cool. And in some fatigue decks, people might just be so creative, so they will create fatigue decks. Or, like I said, in Midrange Paladin, it can be really strong if, like, having 5 2-offs is not big amount of 2-offs for Reno Jackson to proc. Then it will be really good. You can just remove Healbot for this card. So then you will have a free 5 mana spot. Yes, something like this. So, thank you for watching my review. And guys, check it out in 1 month. No, actually in 2 months to see if I was correct for my review. And see you later if you're watching me from YouTube.